You see that there's another good news this morning that Parliament's Public Accounts Committee has retrieved about 2 million from various public institutions and individuals in the course of their work last year. The institution include district assemblies, senior high schools and individuals in the country who were implicated in the Auditor General's report. A total of 1,400,000 was retrieved from the senior high schools, while 600,000 was also retrieved from various district assemblies. I think it's good news, and it's even coming rather too late because it should have come earlier. Because there has been cries that why is the nation crying that we don't have money? Yet a lot of people are owing us big sums of money. I remember when Martin Amido made those comments, he received bashing, especially from the ruling government. For you, what does this mean to you that we've been able to retrieve 2 million, but we have a lot more to retrieve?
Better late than never. And also, we must commend Parliament and commend government for aiding them to put in place the financial tribunal aspect of the Public Accounts Committee. And plans are far advanced that they will start their prosecutorial aspect of the Public Accounts Committee. You know, it has the powers of a high court. And so whatever they preside on, you can't lift it to another court. So they ought to be given a prosecutorial arm so that they deal with financial irregularities and malfeasance in the country. And then if you go through the Ghana's Financial Administration Regulation Act, there are opportunities or areas that seek to first and foremost retrieve the money before punitive measures are prescribed. And I go with that, because if you go by what happened with the Avame Rice project issue, where a laudable rice venture that was intended to help Ghana offset our rice import bill, then around $120 million, and the then managers solely based the argument on seeing to the criminal jailing or punishment of the people who initiated it. After the punishment, the project was also left to fallow for 7 years before it was handed over to some foreign investor for a joint venture. In between that period, the helicopter that will fly to spray the rice farm had then broken down. The machinery had then broken down. So today, Ghana, which used to have a company that has the capacity to produce rice for West African sub-region, is scrambling to even be on its feet on a sustainable rice production. So it is financially prudent for you to try to retrieve the money first.
Okay, but we're told that we've retrieved some monies, but what happens to the bigger monies? I remember the Woyome money, I remember Isofoton and all of those.
It is on the same...
And the Agams Group money.
It is on the same line, but the key component in law is about patience. You understand?
But we're running out of patience because we need those monies.
You don't need to run out of patience because the law doesn't rot.
Okay.
You understand? Government assists government. So no matter what happens, because there is a ruling that you have to pay, you will even pay even when in death, you will pay. Because it is not you as a person, it's you by other corporate or by your district.
Okay, this morning I'm learning that when you are dead, we can come and take money from you.
Because
okay, let me briefly ask Kamaldeen's comment because we are running out of time. Kamaldeen, we've retrieved some money.
Briefly, you said?
Yes, briefly.
Oh, sure. Anyway, that's fine. You see, it's interesting. I'm happy to hear that the Public Accounts Committee is making a headway.
Yeah.
Like he rightly said, I will share in his own sentiment to say that if indeed the law had empowered the Public Accounts Committee to assume some prosecutorial powers, it would have been good for us. Because frankly, they've done a yeoman's job over the years and then gone forward and all that. We are told that, you see, my worry is that to have a secondary schools where our kids are supposed to be groomed and fed well, and money that is supposed to be meant for them to be fed well is actually squandered by someone. That's unscrupulous, and that's not proper. Now, if those monies are being paid, step in the right direction. But we shouldn't just allow them to pay. We should also have some kind of punishment, like you rightly said, to serve as a deterrent.
Yeah.
You see, we are always, as a society, or in a society, quick to blame the politician, to say that it's the politician who actually is corrupt, who actually is this. These people are not politicians.
Yeah.
We have civil servants, directors at coordinating at these assemblies, and other people culpable of some of these things. We need to sanitize the whole country and a whole system to ensure that porosity in the system is nipped in the bud. For me, it's a welcome news, it's good, but they need to do and go a step further. You asked a very relevant question, very, very important question. Whether or not the gargantuan crimes committed against this country by depleting our resources unwarrantedly by these people. I mean, as in, yes, you know, what's the name? The Woyomis, the Isophotons, and the other things. That someone, an individual, citizen vigilante, God bless him, Martin Amido, has to go to court and work hard. And the court says, look, that money be paid to us because there is a company in this country called Create, Loot, and Share. That some people have formed. He's sitting here, he needs to be aware of that. You understand? That those monies be taken
Where
back.
Where is that company registered?
Oh, there's an abstract company called Quick Loot and Share. And these monies actually have not been accessible. Now what he's telling me is that we should have patience. And that even in their grave, they will pay the money to us. May God let them pay from their grave even. I support it. Because you see, the commoner cannot sit down and be crying. Adams, you mentioned Adams. We are told that over 100 million US dollars has been spent on Jeddah alone. In fact, squandered. People squandered it. $100 billion. That's a lot of money. And today we don't have light because we cannot get about 400 million or something to pay ECG. Are you getting me? Someone has spent. Oh, please, that's the case. You are owing ECG. Government is the highest debtor.
And that is why we are in darkness.
If you are you can't pay, they can't buy power. They can't buy they can't buy light.
And I'm saying that we should conclude your submission.
I'm concluding. If we can spend 100 million US dollars with that basis for someone to enjoy, the next one will come and say, oh, it was a mistake, come and pay the money back to us. This is the highest, corrupt act ever that we can talk about. If we can spend, when you go to what was the name of it? Brazil, to say you are going to play football, and you go and squander our money and come and sit here, and yet you know what we do? When they come back, we still tell them. When they come back, what we do is that we still give them positions. You become a deputy minister after squandering my money. You to come to the state ministry and become a state house and become a minister.
Well, I don't think that's what happens because definitely they look at who can perform and who is competent to fill.
But we saw somebody crying at the commission,
so I don't think
crying, seriously shedding tears.
I don't think that's what happens. I don't think that
someone
that is what happens.
And shed tears, and yet he's
anyway. So that's where we drop the curtains for AM Talk, because if I allow these two gentlemen to continue with this.
Anyway, let me congratulate him.
But it's good news that we've retrieved some amount of money. So we're hoping, that we would have more of that.
My government under President
we're running out of time, Solomon.
That is why
it's okay. You have not got anything to say.
So thank you very much, gentlemen. That's Kamal Ding, Abdullahi, and Solomon Nkansa. And they've been wonderful on the AM Talk. Thanks so much for coming. We hit on the street also to look at the 15.0% increment on the pension scheme, and let's see the AM Roving report on what people are saying about that.